bride, Lindsay, said that I needed to raise this up. Apparently I was looking down too much. So I'm raising it up and hope it fits. But I wanted to show you a picture. So for those of you that were with us last week, that is the moment that brought us all together. So you're welcome. And thank you to Pastor Nick and crew for wandering into the neighborhood and recruiting neighbors to come and be with y'all. Makes a real difference. Sure made a difference to me. So thanks, Nick. Let's pray. Father, have your own way. Have your own way. And this is your house and your family. We turn the gaze of our hearts upon you. We pray that in the next few moments that you would guide us closer to the heart of our shepherd. Even if it's one step, even a small step. Guide us closer to the heart of our shepherd. In his name, amen. So last Sunday, we began Psalm 23, and we looked at verse 1. And I suppose if I had my way, if I preached through Psalm 23 in an appropriate way, I wouldn't do all the rest of the psalm today. That's a lot to do. But we're going to do our best to unpack the rest of the psalm today. And so last week we looked at, on our foreign path, what is our part? What is our part? When God makes a covenant with human beings, there is a part for us and there is a part for him. And in Psalm 23, as the leadership of the foreign path begins, it begins with a declaration. And the declaration is our part on the foreign path. Your foreign path is a place in life where you don't have a map, and you don't have a compass, and you don't necessarily know where you're going. And so on that foreign path where you can't see what's up ahead, what is your declaration? What are you declaring to be true? What we looked at last time is that Yahweh Elohim is my covenantal partner, the creator of all, in the person of Jesus Christ, and he is my shepherd. I lack nothing. Jesus asked Peter, "Who do you believe that I am?" Who do you believe that I am? Well, some say you're Elijah, and some say you're a good teacher, and some say you didn't exist at all. But who do you believe that I am? It's a declaration that brings orientation, and this declaration is an act of our will. It's not always an act of our feeling. Sometimes your feelings might go against this declaration, but we're submitting our feelings to the declaration of our will. John 1:12 says, "Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God." Your belief and your declaration, especially when your feelings work against you on the foreign path, is your part. And that's my part, our declaration. So Psalm 23:1 begins with, "Yahweh, the Lord, is my shepherd." So just to get you into the flow of part 2, that's just a little review for you. And so let's move on with part 2. "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. And even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." And so when we make our declaration that Yahweh is shepherd, even if we don't necessarily feel his shepherding at the time on our foreign path, and that happens, he then has a part. Our part is the declaration. And then his part is leadership on the foreign path, the place that you don't understand and that I don't understand. He has a part on the foreign path. Well, what would be the first point of leadership for the shepherd on your foreign path and on my foreign path? Well, verses 2 and 3 lay out the first point of shepherding. The first part of the shepherd's leadership, verse 2, he makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes, or some translations say, restores my soul. He guides me along right paths for his name's sake. Now notice the words, he makes me. He makes me lie down in green pastures. Why would it say he makes me lie down? Wouldn't you want to just go lie down? On your foreign path where things are confusing and you're in pain and you're swollen and you don't know where you're going, wouldn't you want to lie down? Why does it say he makes me lie down? Have you ever noticed that before? Shouldn't we run down the ravine when we're on a foreign path into the jungle and go find a termite mound and dig out some termites of self-sufficient sustenance, maybe light a fire with some sticks, maybe build a lean-to with some palm leaves, maybe find the temptation tree and say my effort is what sustains me? Shouldn't I get busy doing something? It's a foreign path. I don't know what I'm doing here, so I better get busy. I don't have time to lay down. How do I fix this? How do I solve this? Maybe that's just what I think as a male, like, I don't understand this thing, so let's go work it out. Let's go work. I got stuff to do. Even if it's in a termite mound or with some palm leaves and a lean-to, I'm doing something down in the ravine of self-sufficiency. If it's going to be, it's up to me. He makes me lie down in green pastures. Makes me lie down. The timing is difficult for us, isn't it? On the foreign path, He makes me lie down. It's just hard timing for us sometimes. And we want to say, I don't have time. I don't have time for green pastures. The timing is hard. In a Microsoft study that was done years ago, Microsoft was looking at the effects of the technology influx on us since the year 2000. And they found that goldfish have an attention span of 9 seconds. And they found that human beings, as amazing and complex as we are, since the year 2000, our attention span has fallen to 8 seconds. That means that a goldfish has a longer attention span than you do, and that I do. So we tell the goldfish, I don't have the time for green pastures. I don't have the time to lay down. In a documentary series from Nova called The Mysteries of Sleep, the documentary directors found that an overworked amygdala, which is the part of your brain that registers whether or not you're in danger, an overworked amygdala actually does not turn off in sleep. An overworked amygdala will use your sleep to find out what's dangerous so that it can fix it. But on the foreign path, you don't know what it is that's dangerous. So your amygdala is searching and searching and searching and searching all night long, and you wake up in the morning and it's still searching. And so we have this franticness and this alarm. We tend to overwork the foreign path as if we can outwork what the foreign path is doing to us. We lean on the self-sufficiency sometimes of abandoning Jesus the shepherd in favor of personal effort to make life work on our own terms. I got to get busy. And yet the first point of the shepherd's leadership through the foreign path is to slow you down. It's to slow you down. Just like John Mark Comer's book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. Because to slow you down, to make you lie down in green pastures, is actually a spiritual revolt. You are revolting against the forces that scare you and push you and alarm you into greater amounts of activity that may cause you to release the hand of the shepherd to trust in the termite mound. Do you see what I'm getting at? And you know, I can't always tell by your faces if you're registering with me or not, but I can't always tell. I've preached for a long time, but I can't. With this group, I can't always tell. You're really good poker players here, but I hope I'm getting through, and it's not just me that does this. I know where the termite mounds are. You probably know where the termite mounds are too, so I hope we're all in this together. Thank you, I receive it. So the timing is hard for us. And then sometimes we say, well, it's just not available. You know, green pastures just aren't available. Do you know what is available on the foreign path? Work, termite mounds, lean-tos. There's no end to the amount of self-sufficiency you can build for yourself on the foreign path. And so we can say the availability is just not there for me. I don't see any termite mounds. Or I see all the termite mounds. I don't see the green pastures. You know what we're looking for in green pastures? Tillamook County. That's what we're looking for. We say, hey, if Jesus provides Tillamook County for me, endless rolling fields of bushy green, and I'm going to be such a happy sheep that I'm going to go to the Tillamook Creamery and help them because I'm so happy with all these rolling fields of green and endless green. Do you know what you're looking for? You're looking for the restored Eden. You're looking for the kingdom of heaven fully realized. That will be Tillamook County on the earth. But until then, we don't get Tillamook County on the earth. You get the green pastures as they are afforded to you. This is a cool book by W. Philip Keller. It's called A Shepherd Looks at Psalm 23. Now, I'm going to belabor this first point. You can say, man, Ben, you're taking a long time on this point. You got a ways to go. I'm going to belabor this point a little bit because we are just so bad at this in the West, okay? And I'm a therapist. I've been a therapist for 12 years. If people understood green pastures, I bet 90% of my people wouldn't come see me anymore. That's how big of a deal green pastures are. I help people find them, and I help them slow down and use them. And do you know that their anxieties begin to diminish because they find enough green pasture that it becomes sustaining for the day? And that's what we're after. We don't get Tillamook County of restored Eden. It's not here yet. But we do get the green pastures that are sufficient for today. So Keller writes, it is not generally recognized that many of the great sheep countries of the world are dry, semi-arid areas. Most breeds of sheep flourish best in this sort of terrain. They are susceptible to fewer hazards of health or parasites where the climate is dry. But in those same regions, it is neither natural nor common to find green pastures. For example, Palestine, where David wrote this psalm and kept his father's flock, especially near Bethlehem, is dry, brown, sunburned wasteland. Green pastures did not happen by chance. Green pastures were the product of tremendous labor, time, and skill in land use. The Hebrew word, therefore, makes me lie down, means stretch out. Do you know that God would like you to stretch out today? Isn't that a cool thought? The word for green, deshe, means new grass. Means new grass. So whatever the green pasture is for you today, it might be different than the green pasture yesterday. Notice that the word is plural, pastures and waters and paths, because you're journeying. You're on a journey. The shepherd is giving you the green pastures of today, from tuft to tuft to tuft to tuft. It's not rolling Tillamook County, it's tuft to tuft. Do you have that picture of the sheep, Nick? Are we good? Oh, there you go. There's your green pasture. You say, I want more green. I want more green. I got to go build it. Where's my termite mound? I want more green than that. Jesus, that's not enough green. Shepherd, I'm unhappy with the green pastures that you have provided for me. But this is what you get, especially on the foreign path. He will give you what sustains you today. And so, Nick, we'll move on to the sequence of pictures, okay? 3,500 miles away, after preaching with the interpretation of the missionary Doug Reed, next slide. There's me, a long time ago. Past the wall of the Columbus Lighthouse, next slide. After the initial reality of the stark poverty of Dominican Republic, into the hill country, there's the hill country, past the village with no running water or electricity, past the cockroach patrol room, which we talked about last time, on the other side of the river where the donkey beat me officially. There's a donkey. In the tropics of Dominican Republic, that one had a reasonable button, by the way, mine didn't. in the tropics of Dominican Republic. That's where I was. That was my foreign path. As I looked around, that's what I saw. With no map or compass, not knowing where I'm going, eyes swollen from the allergic reaction to the donkey, throat swollen from the same doggone donkey, face and headache from also the same doggone donkey, weary from the donkey, lost and not knowing how to get back because the donkey kicked me off onto a foreign path. I hope I'm talking to somebody in here today. You have a donkey too. And it doesn't have a reasonable button, just like mine. Well, what happened on the foreign path? Well, the missionary's son-in-law, Monaline, was my shepherd. And so I didn't let go of Monaline's hand and run down into the ravine and try to go find a termite mound. I stayed with Monaline. I declared Monaline is my guide. So I'll stick with you. And Monaline led me to the church where the rest of the crew had assembled to paint the church that was there. And I thought, well, now it's time to get to work. I'm swollen from the donkey. And I said, well, my buddies are going to be disappointed. I got to get to work. And it's lazy if I don't go get to work. And Monaline took me to Doug Reed and took me to Daryl Jr., the leads of everything. And do you know what they said? They didn't say, go get to work. They said, there's a flat rock over there. Go lie down. Because he makes me lie down in green pastures. He makes me lie down in green pastures. So what is your flat rock? What is your green pasture for today? What is your flat rock? What did God give you today? Did he give you a walk around the neighborhood and that was your flat rock? Did he give you the laughter of a child and that's your green pasture? Did he give you the sound of the breeze through the trees and that's your green pasture? Did he give you the hug of a friend? Did he give you a phone call? Did he give you coming to church and listening to a guy talk about a donkey? Way too much. What did he give you today? What is your green pasture for today? Because it's not Tillamook County. We're not there yet. That's Eden. We're not there yet. We're headed there, and we thirst for Eden. We do. I do. And you do. But we're not there yet. And so what is your green pasture today? Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and staff, they comfort me. The way Hebrew poetry works is that you begin with the first line, and the Hebrew poet would work up to the summit thought, the main thought, and then work their way back down the summit thought. It was like a mountaintop. And so the exact middle of this 23rd Psalm is, you are with me. You are with me. As a therapist, I work a lot with anxiety disorders. And anxiety in the DSM is characterized as apprehensive expectation. Apprehensive expectation. Well, what is apprehension? Apprehension comes from two Latin words, prae, P-R-A-E, which means before, and hendere, H-E-N-D-E-R-E, which means to grasp. Apprehensive expectation or anxiety or fear in this case is to reach into the future and grasp what you believe is there and pull it back in for how you should feel today. Does that make sense? We grasp into the future, and that's a belief. I believe that in the future something's up there, and I'm going to grab it and pull it into today. So you might grasp a cactus and pull it in today, and you'd have a handful of quills. Or you could grasp into the future and the same donkey would be there. You say, I'm in trouble again. I can't get away from this donkey. That's fear. Something's going to hurt me up there. Well, contrast the word hope. John Eldredge calls hope the confident expectation that good is coming. So hope is also a belief. Fear is a belief, and hope is a belief. You can grasp into the future and bring back something that you're afraid of. It's dangerous up there. There's nothing good up there. Or you can grasp into the future and pull back the hand of Christ, because he's already there. He's already there preparing your green pasture. He's already there. You don't need to run down the ravine of self-sufficiency and huddle around the termite mound of just barely. You know what I'm saying? You can grasp into the future, and the shepherd is already there, just as he's here today with you and was there yesterday with you. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. So when Jesus is your shepherd, you can confidently reach into the future and find Jesus, preparing your green pastures, quieting the waters, preparing your right paths, whittling the rod and the staff for your comfort. The reason that you don't have to be afraid in the valley of the shadow or on your foreign path is that he's with you, and he will be with you. The central point of the psalm. The third part of the shepherd's leadership, and I'm just going to hurry my way through here, is you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup overflows. And so when we declare Yahweh as shepherd, that's our part. His part would be pastures for restoration. Number one. Number two is his presence that dispels fear. This is kind of classic preaching. You have to start the point with the same letter, you know? So here you go. Pastures for restoration, presence that alleviates fear, and the third one is provision in the presence of your enemies. But Jesus, come on. I want my enemy to go away. Come on. This is not fully good news. I want the enemy gone. And if the enemy is not gone, then how effective of a shepherd are you? I mean, I'm threatening you, Jesus. I'm going to go find a termite mound if you don't do something with that enemy of mine. This is sometimes how we think, you know. If my enemy's still here, it means he must not be good. If my diagnosis is still here, he must not be a great shepherd. If my child is still estranged, how good of a shepherd is he? If my bank account is struggling, well, and he's not a very good shepherd, I better go find a termite mound because it holds more for me than he does. You see, sometimes we don't say, I abandon you, Jesus. We just act like it. We just act like it. We just say, all right, my enemy's still here. Where's the termite mound? You know, last sermon it was the donkey, and this sermon it's the termite mound. It's not like I wrote that 50 times in my notes. It's just flowing out, you guys. That's just the way it goes. You're going to have to deal with that. You guys, the shepherd provides what we need in the presence of your enemy, even when the enemy doesn't go away. And sincerely, I pray that the enemy does go away. Whatever your enemy is, I pray that it goes away. But if it doesn't, he will provide for you in the presence of your enemy. The fourth part of the psalm is, surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Do you see that word Lord? It's in all caps. Do you see that? I didn't write it. I'm just trying to show you. Do you remember that we started last week with the first verse? And the Lord was in all caps. And now we're closing out the psalm, and the Lord is still all in caps. Because when the Lord is in all caps, behind that in Hebrew is not Adonai, the common word for Lord. When it's in all caps, that's Yahweh. That's his covenant personal name. I'm landing the 2-week plane. The house of the Lord at that time of David was a tabernacle that held the Ark of the Covenant, and that represented Yahweh's presence. And so the fourth aspect of the leadership of the shepherd is his protection in his presence. His protection in his presence. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run in and are safe. So I'm going to conclude this today. I'll invite the band to come up. But while they're coming up, I'm going to conclude with this. I came home from the Dominican Republic in the summer of 1993. I did make it off of the mountain. I got to have some chicken and rice in the presence of the donkey that was high hoofing his donkey buddies. It was like, I got one over on that guy. But hey, I was having chicken and rice, and after some antihistamine, I was doing quite a bit better after a sleep on the flat rock, okay? So I came off the mountain, and I'm here with you. So I'm not on that foreign path. I'm on a different one, but not on that one. And so when your face is swollen, and when you can't breathe, and when you can't see, and the landscape changes, and you don't have a map, and you lost your compass, and you don't know the way, and you haven't seen the destination, and you feel lost and confused and anxious and depressed and lonely, our part is the declaration. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. And his part is the pastures of restoration. His presence that alleviates fear. His provision even in front of your enemies. And protection in his name.